finally. Going to do the down for below, which is going to be challenging because all of the powers I just socketed, finally socketed, are grayed out. But that's okay. Let me slide my microphone a little closer. There we go. Maybe a little bit farther away. All right, I think we're all set. Alrighty. So I started blasting. I realized, of course, I don't have a travel power. Other than hover. I also don't have hasten. Well, you know, these are the challenges that that build character. Right? Yeah. Besides, it's a short series of missions. Not a big deal. If you're tuning in tonight, my end goal here is to maybe get to 38. I believe I'm currently at 35. Probably won't happen in this mission. And that's okay. If my lovelier better half, Christina, is back, I'm hoping she's getting some rest and maybe a relaxing bath or whatever it takes. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's just let that do its work. I forgot to put my shield drone out. My shield drone is what keeps me alive. I can't believe running a level 3 mission. It's kind of cool. I also can't believe I have a hover at level 3. Also pretty cool. 2 attacks. We're just going to use those 2 attacks. I think I've gotten this bad several times now. Wait, maybe I didn't get that badge before. Alright. Let's go do this thing. No, Sheltron, no! Alright, so far so good. Never realized how much of a difference it makes having a 3-socketed Mason. We'll just do this here. Alright. Splash is a pretty good attack. I'll have to get Goulash out again at some point. After I make 50 with this guy. 50 and change. 50 and change. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. I can hear. This is where it doesn't pay to have my respec, which I just did. Oh. It is the lovely woman. I'm going to unmute.
There, sir.
Hello. I'm currently streaming.
Nice.
I'm glad to see you're relaxing.
I kind of fed the kids and then gave them melatonin and was like, go to bed. And they were like, yeah, we're good. William was like, I feel like I should stretch first. And I'm like, you can stretch tomorrow. You'll be fine. You're young.
Stretch.
What?
Like he can't stick his legs fully out in the car.
Right. He had them on my seat most of the drive, so I have a little holder that holds the iPad in between the 2 seats. It attaches like in between. So they've been watching movies. And the thing that I enjoy about them not having access to the internet is instead of them not watching a movie that they're watching, where they're scrolling, because they're notorious scrollers, you know? You put a movie on and they're like on their phone the whole time and they don't pay attention.
Well, where did they get that from? Weird.
So they actually have to watch it and I get to listen. So It was funny because, like, as much as they're like, we've seen Encanto like 3 times, this is the first time they've actually followed the storyline. And it was kind of hilarious because Olivia's just like, why are they so mean to her? And I'm like, this is your third time watching this movie and you're just figuring out that they're mean to her the entire time. That's how she's the protagonist. She's like, I don't know, I didn't really pay attention before.
When you're, what, 10?
Yeah.
Social obligations can often take you away from things that are trivial, like movies.
Yeah. No, it's good. And I picked the movies, so like I picked movies that I thought they would like, but they would never pick themselves.
Uh huh.
Um, so like we watched Ulysses, which is such a good movie. It's like the one with the superhero squirrel. And you see, I can tell you right now, I say that as the premise, and you're just like, probably wouldn't pick that either. Why would I want to watch a movie about a superhero squirrel? But it's really not a movie about a superhero squirrel. It's a movie about a little girl whose parents are divorcing. And her dad moves out and she finds this squirrel who has gotten sucked up in a vacuum that she has to resuscitate. And her mom is just like, oh my God, why are you touching this rodent? And keeps trying to kill it. And so she has to go bring it to her dad. And then her dad winds up coming home to help her with the squirrel. And so it's like a whole catalyst for family healing because her mom had to realize she was trying to make her daughter into something because she was worried she was becoming like her dad. And, you know, and her dad realizing that just because he felt uncomfortable didn't mean he wasn't accepted. So, it's a whole little family healing, kind of thing that gets processed through a squirrel. Go figure, you know? And has, the squirrel writes poetry on this little old typewriter. And what the mom especially realizes, is she says, I've been so busy trying to control everything and do everything for everybody that I haven't been present. And she's a writer and she starts reading through the poetry of the squirrel and realizes how in the moment it is. Like every poem is literally about exactly what's happening in that moment for the squirrel. And she realized she hadn't been present. And she'd been so caught up in doing so many things and trying to take care of everyone that she had just kind of disconnected herself. What's that face?
Well, that's me clearing my throat.
So it's a good movie. And my hair is doing funky things.
It
I know.
is.
Super funky
It's
things.
amazing.
It's been up in a bun, and so I took it out of the bun, but it's not quite done being in the bun. So it's like unfurled, but in this design I was choosing. Do you want me to flip you to widescreen? Is that preferred?
Oh, almost always. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain times that that portrait is a better option. But
When you're trying to get the top and the bottom in the same frame. Like,
I don't know what you mean. I'm not following.
yes, you are.
Sunder has made the jump to level 35.
Wow. Are you playing on Excelsior still?
I am. I am. And not for very long, actually. So I made a particular effort earlier today. What is going over our heads? Made an effort earlier today to log in and stand in Pocket D for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have my long range teleporter. And I ran like one task force when I got back from the gym this morning, which was pretty fast. and ended
All
up with a
right, hit him.
couple new group invites or global invites, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We got, I mean, we lost. It ended up with just a total wipe against an arch villain, where uh, everybody there was like 8 people in the group, couldn't get the damage down noticeably at all because the regeneration for the arch villain is so fast.
Mhm.
Everybody's just pouring into it, and then an AOE would hit and it would wipe out half the group, me included. And eventually we just gave up on the mission, and I think we failed it actually. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, she is so lucky. I had like countless more corpses to throw at her. Countless. I could have thrown 30, 40 more corpses at her. She's lucky she gave up by winning. So, but it was a good time.
Mm.
Good time. Level 2 blaster. Looking for AE daddy. Funny. Yeah, it's a very, very big pickup area here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'm shaking the goods here and nobody's buying, so by shaking the goods I actually have it that I'm looking for a group. I haven't actually said anything to anybody. But man, I'm on fire. I mean literally. Right now. I should be having steam coming out of me when I'm actually in combat. This is the problem I have if I stand too long.
Mhm.
Is that I start thinking about making costume updates. That's a lot of layers.
Yeah, we forgot our coats on this trip.
You forgot your. I mean, altogether forgot your coats. Like
Yes.
no coats in the car.
No, so it was like 65 the day we left. And so we brought like windbreakers and sweatshirts, and then the next day dropped to 20. So we went from 65 to 20 in one day, and just layered. We just like all put on all of our clothes essentially, and just went around like that all day today. It did work, you know. Cold hands though. I mean, the cold hands really sucked in Central Park because the kids wanted to just run around and play on stuff, and I was just like, whoa, seriously. But mostly good, mostly good. Oh.
I guess. No, wait. Mortimer.
Were we
Is that
quietly
Darkseid?
sleeping when you left this morning?
You. I think you were on mute.
No, we weren't on mute.
I knew you were
You had
very quiet.
audio.
I was actually. I was up before you were. I heard your alarm go off.
Yeah. Did you hear me just hit bang? And I just went back to sleep.
Yeah.
I just hit.
Yeah.
I was like, not happening right now. Nope, nope, nope.
I think it was like 7:30 your time and 6:30 my time. And I got up. I'm like, I might as well just get going. Oop.
Yeah, it's generally why I tend to leave a window open, like the curtain open rather, because the light will wake me up, and I sleep cycle naturally pretty well, and I'll wake up at the right time if I have the window cracked. But being in a hotel like that with like all the lights blocked, I'm out. That's why I sleep twice as much at your place as I do at my own, because it's so much darker there. Oh, did you get a bite?
I did on the evil side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna go play dirty for a bit?
Well, I really don't know any other way to play. Sucks head. All right, what powers am I getting rid of? Nothing. All right, good. Good. Shark's Head. I don't know where Shark's Head Island is. Oh, it's right there. I don't know where anything is red side.
I kind of do, but only like this thing is from the ferry. Is kind of what I know. Like this is the ferry list,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is the tunnel list.
All right. Where's everybody? There they are. Oh, I've been here before. Very, very long time ago. Anyhow, the mission that I was running that we got entirely wiped out on was level 54. Um, and at the time, I would say that I would be 90% unsocketed and 10% were red.
Yeah.
So effectively, I was leveling fast enough that I just would out level everything that I had. And so I had ended up clicking off of my experience point bonus to get some money so I could actually go and make some IO so I'd stop out leveling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that cost me like 3 million. But and even then I'm not done. But that's a start. I really want to get him to where he's the coolest.
The cool.
Yeah. Because he was my first so many years ago. Interesting. But anyhow, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Mostly, I really these people who do these things in game, who are
Uh-huh.
inviting in like these mid Bs who are struggling or in hell levels or whatever, then basically
Mm-hmm.
coax them through task forces and things, and I think it's great.
Are
Like,
you on camera?
am I? No, I'm not on camera.
Sorry.
Are you not
Go ahead.
watching? Are you not watching?
No, I don't have it up right now.
You're not padding my viewership?
You want? I mean, I can.
Nah, I prefer what you're doing. But you also look like you're getting killed by light.
I had I have an issue with nighttime driving
In that you
because
can't see at night?
no. You know those hideous headlights that you love to replace in all of your cars, the ones that are like so blindingly bright that every person who's either directly in front of you or oncoming can't see for like 3 seconds after you go by.
Wait, one more time. The ones I like to replace is in the ones I put into new cars?
Yes, yes,
See,
yes.
that's not true. Basically,
The
what
two.
that means is that they put them in and they did not aim them correctly.
Well, whatever they did, it's like they come up and people pull up next to me with those like blinding headlights, and I always wind up inevitably like I had someone next to me but behind me for a solid 3 miles, 4 miles, shining directly into my mirror, like my side mirror, and then reflecting it right into my face, and things
Why
like
don't you
that
let
are
them pass?
I was in the middle lane, they were on the right,
Yeah.
so I was in my little middle lane,
Uh huh.
and they never like actually went by me, even when I slowed down because I had somebody in front of me.
Uh-huh.
So, but things like that are migraine triggers for me. So my problem right now is that I was doing the wink and clench, where I would wink the eye shut on the side that the light was coming from, and then I wind up clenching my jaw on that side. So my tooth nerves are actually flaring on the left side of my face from jaw clenching and squinting. It's an interesting little conundrum. But yeah, I have such an abhorrence for people that put the super, super bright lights in that just blind every other person on the road. I can't, I can't see the logic behind needing something so incredibly, like,
Well,
how is it
bright lights
to
are
have,
the correct lights are a safety thing. If you don't have good lights, then what's the point? But but they have to be aimed right. Otherwise, they're not helping you either.
and this isn't everybody, it's just the people that have the ones that are the super, super extra bright that are just like,
You realize you
they light
probably have the
up.
same ones on your vehicle, right?
No, mine are like dim yellow things.
Not no. Your car is what, 1 year old?
Two and change.
Okay. Yeah, no. Nope.
That's
There
terrible.
are no vehicles that have those old lights anymore.
Oh, and that's stupid. And I apologize to anyone that I'm like subjecting to that because it is awful. It is awful. And you can't see as the person in front. And, in this instance, they were behind me. I slowed down. They moved over to the lane to the right, and I thought they were going to pass, and they just cruised. Just cruised. But no, I can see at night. I don't have night blind. I have astigmatism. So I can see. Things are streaky. Like, the little radiating light rays. I get those. Um,
Haloing.
yes. Although for a while there was a company that made these lenses called eyes on lenses, where they would map your eye for your astigmatism, and each lens was custom made to correct the astigmatism in your vision. And I had the most perfect vision ever with those glasses. And I wore them for 5 years and finally needed a slight prescription change, and I had scratched them, and the company had gone out of business. And they said it was because they made the correction was so good that people weren't getting them year after year. People would get one pair and it would be like 3-4 years before they came back to get another set of lenses. And it was so expensive to manufacture them without having without having more demand, that they wound up going out of business, which is really unfortunate because it was such a great product. And my
Which goes to
optometrist,
show you why nobody ever wants a cure.
yeah,
Everybody wants a treatment.
yeah, for sure,
There's no money to
yeah,
be
because
made in curing cancer. There is
yeah,
billions to be made in actually treating cancer.
yeah, this is true. Because I know, like, these lenses, it cost me, I think I paid $600 for them, so they weren't cheap. But like I said, I didn't need glasses for almost 5 years after, and normally I have to get a new pair every year. So, but eyes on lenses, they were wonderful. And you had to get I guess the optometrists also had to get special equipment because you have to do ocular mapping in order to get the astigmatism values. So it required a special machine on their part too. Oh no, no. I mean, you're right. No one wants to cure. How would anybody make money? It's kind of the reason that quality products have, been on a descent. Conspicuous consumption and the need to constantly replace drive the economy.
I don't have stealth anymore.
Oh no.
I respect. I decided I was going to get really, really serious regarding helping out the team. So I took leadership. And kind of paying for it right now. So this is what happens when I help people.
You pay for it?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it like that every time?
Kinda. All right.
Kinda?
You know, I'm just gonna fly. There.
What do you have for dinner tonight?
I had a glass of cola. I'm still waiting to have it. What did you have for dinner? Did you have pie?
No. I had ramen with a side of cucumbers.
You know, they're just going to keep on going ahead.
I got so many emails from work with people passive aggressively mentioning me being out. Drives me so insane. I can take time off. Let me take time off.
Are you sure?
It's more them being like, I'm so sorry that, X is not working. Christina is out today, but she'll get right to this as soon as she gets back. It's like, will I really? Do I not have other things to do? Do you think I may not have priorities? But so it doesn't really matter. I'm feeling my planned obsoleteness. Look, our shirts match.
Mine was a gift.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Not a big fan of this group. Is that why your lips get chapped?
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. Maybe that's why mine never do. One of the worst things in the world to happen, I mean worse than cancer, is when you hit the buffs, like I'm gonna aim and build up, and then they do a cut sequence. Like the second before you can actually use the attack, Worse than
Yeah.
cancer.
Feels extreme.
No, I think it's accurate. Okay, so those fire rebs I can't touch.
I'm gonna go find my mouth guard. I will be right back. Enjoying wisping my way through the rest of the evening. My jaw actually does hurt tonight. I love you.
I love you too. All right. She had her boobs out. Don't tell anybody.
Hey, Jesus Christ! I can hear you.
No, you can't. What did I say? They're,
Always tell me.
they're magnificent, by the way. Absolutely magnificent.
You know, here I am trying to do nice things for you and with you.
I'm showing off. You've got my trophy boobs. Besides, I said I'm hungry for McDonald's breakfast. That's what I said. What did you hear?
Oh, what did I hear?
Yeah.
I heard you saying I had my boobs up.
Well, that's a weird thing for you to hear.
Is it?
Yeah. But the question
Yeah.
is, why is it important?
That's part of why I'm confused.
And then what do we need to do? And then what can we do today? Those are the questions.
I didn't think it was like a call to action. I,
No, those are the three questions.
Wait, repeat this again.
The questions are, why is it important?
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do? And what can we do today?
Those are the questions I have on the board on my wall.
You think so?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe so.
because this used to be my office,
Uh-huh.
and every time a problem came up, and I started to get stressed out about it, those are the 3 evaluation questions I had for it.
You didn't just remember them?
Usually I spiral. You've seen me spiral before.
Yeah.
I need something tangible as a grounding mechanism.
Like pie?
Oh, pie's so good.
This is part of the spiral.
Yeah, it is. Sugar is part of the spiral. Although I'm trying not to like sugar myself up as much. Partly because it's making me fat, but also just it's I think to some degree affecting my sleep a little as well.
Probably so. And the bright light shining in your face.
Like the one in your face right now.
I'm not trying to sleep. Am
Mm.
I? No, I'm not. Oh, I never used burn.
Sleeping right now. I'm brushing my teeth to put my mouth guard in, no less. I hate having my mouth guard in if my teeth aren't clean.
They'll put them into burn. I can't put 3 into burn. What am I doing? Hold on. I need to look at your your boobs here. No, I need to look at the... There we go. There they are. There's my list of powers. Let's see, I've got... Why is it so crappy for quality? They want me to put more into Ring of Fire than I currently have? That's stupid. Well, I mean, I made this. I'm going to call myself stupid. That's stupid. Why would they make me do that? Burn only has 3. I'm being distracted. Swift rest, sprint. Okay, so Ring of Fire. Do I want to put more in Ring of Fire? I mean, it says I do, but I never use it. So let's do Blazing Bolt. Well, that recharge is not that bad on that. We'll do Fire Breath. All right.
Sorry, I just realized I still had you on mute.
I think it's like, I don't know, 1048 or something, 1050. I don't know what you're doing, but it looks painful.
I'm bio-freezing myself.
Oh.
I prefer Tiger Balm, but I don't have any.
Not monkey butt?
No, Tiger Balm is like that, like hot kind of ointment stuff.
Like icy hot?
Yeah. This is just the icy stuff.
Uh-huh. There it goes. Alright, well, let's see. What did I get? Did I get any money? 2.4 million. A little broke again. A little broke. Should I... 54. Oh, wait a minute.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I've turned it into a close-up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hate that.
I was trying to lean over to get to something.
Funny.
Which part is funny?
Something.
I can't help it.
Why did I know you were going to say I can't help it right after that?
Mm, That's what I'm gonna have to do for the rest of the night. Because if I take it out, I'm gonna forget to put it back in again.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly what you're talking about. Wait, whose mission are we on?
Oh, I think we're getting the snow you just got. 'Cause we got 8 or 10 inches coming tomorrow.
I know we got more snow coming again too.
So I'll be able to loosen myself up with shoveling in the morning.
With snuggling?
Shoveling.
Snuggling.
I wish snuggling. Snuggling would be awesome.
You. Okay, you're not saying snuggling.
I said shoveling.
Suddling? Suggling?
Shoveling. Oh, that's
Oh, okay. Shoveling.
yes, that's what I was saying.
That's what I'm
I said it like
saying. That's what I'm saying. I gotta see myself up tomorrow when I'm showering.
I said it like
I
six
said it like
times.
60 times.
You know, I'm glad I don't take myself too seriously.
Well, could you? Really? So I said, I will touch my new source. Alright. Let's kill them all. Let's go. Let's go, go, go.
Chee.
I
All right, that's
burn.
my. I can say that word clearly without any issues. That's a good one.
I'm about to make a huge mistake here.
I do that every day. I call it logging into work.
Oh, what did I
Work
just
in
do? Oh, that sucks. I where? There it is. I somehow managed to drag Ring of Fire, or Rain of Fire, off the screen. Which I didn't know I could do that. It's the weirdest thing, once I actually socket powers, it's like I can use them. It's strange, very strange. They should put that in like the FAQs.
Hmm.
Why can't I not hit or do damage? Well, let me tell you, Chuck. This is probably why. Oh, that Warhawk's gonna blow up. What you reading under there? Boobies.
More of that book I started earlier in the week.
Boobies. Boobies. Boobies.
I figured it was better to aim the focus down than to show you my face wisping around the mouth guard with all the saliva.
I, I, I believe that's the case. I don't know when it's supposed to be happening though. Now, what are we talking about?
I hate you sometimes, you know that?
No, you don't.
Because it's pain in my ass.
Shaving your ass?
No, that's not what I said. I
Why?
said,
Why would you? Is that a problem for you normally, or
no, I said sometimes they're a pain in my ass.
sometimes you have to shave your ass?
No.
Sometimes you. Sometimes you have
No.
to. Sometimes you have to shave your ass.
Not what I said. I said, I,
I imagine. I mean, not probably not daily. I wouldn't think, but
I, what I said is that sometimes you are a pain in my ass.
that's accurate. Well, I mean, I've left handprints, I guess, so it's possibly true. But why would you bring up shaving though? I don't get it.
I wasn't talking about saving at all.
Saving what?
I wasn't.
I'm stuck. All right. Shaving my ass. It's crazy. Millennials.
Did you really just say that? You really just brought that into the picture?
I didn't shave anything. What's this preoccupation you have with shaving tonight? I feel a little weak again because now I'm popping out these gigantic nukes, and only half the crowds are dying. It's kind of a bummer. Shaving my ass.
Okay, that was not even what I actually said out loud. Thank you very much for misinterpreting my mouth-guarded speech.
You're welcome, I guess.
You know what this book says, by the way? This book says it's the prevalent view that this practice can help a couple in remaining together for the remainder of their life expectancy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure this out, and you're gonna be stuck with me forever. Forever. Miss. Oh my gosh.
Alright, but I mean, can we think about maybe laser hair removal for your ass at some point? Rather than shaving, because it's just gonna come back. It's coming back thicker.
You go. Oh my god, I have to take it out now because I can't smell it. Ah.
I mean, it's not a really huge ass, so it shouldn't take that much.
I never mentioned anything about shaving my ass.
What?
I did not. And now people are gonna think I have this quick and fuzzy ass over here where I've got like a pelt that I have to remove every day.
It's
Okay.
not really a pelt. I wouldn't call it a pelt. Besides, I think it's only a sound anyhow. Nothing to worry about.
Except for the YouTube replay, who cares?
That lives forever, yeah. I think I'm at like 115 episodes. A bunch of them are currently banked.
Nice. It says this will also make me prettier somehow. Go figure.
Oh, well. I don't know if I like that then.
It says it. Oh, helps you maintain your figure as fit as a fiddle and gives you a glow to the face. A very attractive glow to the face.
Not like balls to the face, but a glow to the face. Attractive balls to the face.
I'm not saying that the balls wouldn't be welcome. I'm saying that maybe the discussion about that shouldn't be public forum.
But what?
The discussion. Discussion.
About what? I've already lost the thread of this conversation.
Balls to the face?
Why would you bring that up here? Have we no privacy? Have you no decency?
Thanks.
Spanx?
Thanks. Yes, I said thanks. I
Spanx.
said thanks.
Spanx you. Spanx you. Where are we going? So, one of the people I grouped up with today was an ice tanker, which in itself was kind of amazing. So this ice tanker was level 50 plus veteran level 112.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, that is dedication. I don't even have 112 alts. But now I feel like I should get 112 alts. Just so I feel like I'm actually contributing to the game. I'm only at like 42 alts. But I figure if I get, 50 plus 112 is 162. So I got 162 characters. I mean, that's the same thing as being veteran level 112, right? I think.
Can't you just pick like 18 of them and like level them up to 50?
Kind of a boring way of looking at it, but I mean, or I could just get 162 alts. I mean, let's look at the other side of that.
True. That's another way to do it.
It's the right way.
You have the time and the creativity and the dedication. I support you.
I would just do random. On the costumes. And then I would like, oh, I really want to try. Oh, Morty, I have one of those, and I'd have to spend 2 or 3 hours trying to figure out the actual costume. Oh God. All right, going back in again. Oh yeah, here we go. Here it comes. Here it is. Hold up. Inferno. So what has been the most interesting thing in there so far? Oh God. I'm sorry, I just asked you to talk. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's like that now, huh? Here, hold on. I can take it out with like a... Okay, so Um, I think. Hmm. There's a whole section on self-love and realization.
I think you've proven you can love yourself pretty well.
Yeah. It talks about where was it?
Effectively.
What does it say? Most ladies in general experience the ill effects of low confidence. They have become tormented with thoughts and sentiments that their bodies are flawed.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And just how your mental state affects your ability to enjoy things.
Uh-huh.
And that it makes you uncertain and unable to express your actual sentiments and wants openly, and that this decreases the joy that you experience. And it says ladies should be dealt with like goddesses, and they are showered with the reflection and the regard that they merit as such. And that men are the same.
I don't want to be treated like a goddess.
Well, it's not like you're like treated like a goddess. It's more, and it says, men are also tormented with their own various issues.
True.
And there's a lot of stress around performance and fulfillment. And
there's a reason that so many men die at work.
because they're stressed over performance.
Because they tend to work more hours, and the jobs they have tend to be less fulfilling, personally.
That's depressing.
Not to mention the fact they also work jobs that can actually kill you. It's a fascinating article I read a couple of years ago. If women can do everything that men can do, why don't they?
Yeah.
About why most of the extremely high-risk jobs in the world are all entirely male-dominated. Why don't you see women linemen up on the wires in storms, or working as lumberjacks, or on oil drilling platforms or things like that? You just don't see it.
I think there's also a difference in the ingrained instincts for survival and resource management in that regard. I think women as procreators are more inclined towards self-protection and preservation.
I would go the other way around. I would go so far to say that men are encouraged to believe that their lives aren't worth anything.
That's valid too.
There's a reason that you're required to register for the draft when you're 18 years old. The Army does not want you, the Armed Forces do not want you if you're in your mid-20s. Because you're much more likely to engage in self-destructive behaviors and care less about your own well-being when you're a young man, very young man.
Yep. And psychologically, they've proven that you're not completely capable of making independent adult decisions when you're 18. That doesn't happen until later in your 20s.
You
So
have
you're essentially
nothing to live for.
Yeah. And you're more malleable, I would think, too. Because you don't have the full confidence in your ability to make those independent decisions. means you're more likely to follow the directions that are imposed on you by somebody else.
No, we're taught early on that we don't mean that much. Oh God, I'm gonna die. I died.
But it's really conflicting because at the same time, they talk about how the lack of father figures, strong male role models, is part of the whole degradation of society that we're experiencing, part of the big issues with loss of values. And we talk about the void that's been left in with fatherless children.
Why do you suppose that they're missing? It's because they're not worth anything. So they're dead. They're in prison. They're.
But don't the effects of their absence alone implicate the value?
Nobody's. People are not making that association now. They're not making that leap. Thomas Sowell regarding the marriage of black women to the government as opposed to men, to black men, and that trip that they've made to put the government in place of a parent, and what that's meant to black boys everywhere. It's fascinating and sad if it's actually, it's one of those things where how do you prove it? But then again, you don't see other minority groups that are so impacted that way.
No, because one could also look at something like, if you were going to do some historical reflection, there is enough data to be able to do a retrospective review on this, because you could look at this from the Census Bureau, you could look at this in welfare statistics, you could look at this in household distributions, right? Because, like head of household being a single individual without it being a couple, a dual income household. There's a variety of different data sources one could retrospectively go back and then chart this along demographic lines, looking at people in specific income brackets as well as people with specific ethnicities or racial categories, and really see if it's a true disparity that's been impacted by sociological programs, or if this is something which is a cultural anomaly.
Well,
Because you can do
but
this as a comparison.
you still have to find cause and effect, though. I mean,
You would have to find cause and effect for sure, but I think in the beginning it starts with saying, is it there? Can you identify that there is an issue? And then can you isolate that issue to a specific group, or is this something which is widespread but more subtly distributed across other groups? If we looked at a period like the Japanese internment, where they took a lot of the men and put them into service and moved a lot of women to these internment camps, all right, and we're seeing that same sort of separation of family, we're seeing that same kind of government regulation of all of their goods and and dependency. And then we look at the period immediately after. When we look at that, do we see that there was a transition where they moved immediately back to the state they were in previously, if possible? Or do we see that they persisted in seeking government assistance and maintaining those kinds of programs? And how much of that can we say is a mechanism of cultural identity, where we do have situations like slavery, which were precursors in the black community, where socioeconomically there was a dependency structure that was inherent in the way that it operated. They were brought in to be dependent and stripped of the ability to build capital. So then they have to make a cultural transition, not as well, in understanding how capital.
So those are a lot of words, but the reality of it is that the black population as a whole was in a much better place from a crime and black on black crime perspective.
Back before a civil rights movement and through it.
Yep.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they were the income inequality was much less.
Uh-huh.
The rate of single mother only households was
Way down.
high, but it was like in the 20% range as opposed to now currently in like over 80%.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So there if that is the case where things that happened 150 years ago are impacting it, then why have we gotten worse as opposed to better? When all of the laws have gone in play to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but but there's also the issue of redlining and how redlining black families specifically out of the ability to own real estate, and real estate being a huge source of generational capital, and how it does have a financial impact over time.
It, it,
Housing and equity
it does,
are
but
big sources of wealth. And I know, to your point, we're not talking about wealth and continuity here. We're talking about familial structure. But,
if you
we're
have a
also talking about
so
government programs
so
on
so
that.
here are the facts. If you get a high school education,
Yeah.
if you have a two-parent household, you are far, far more likely to never ever live in poverty your entire life. Those are free things, right? The school education is free. There's not an emphasis in the community to follow up on that. There's and I can't speak for the black community itself, but black women don't seem to value having the black man in the family, the black father. I'm better off on my own anyhow. I can raise this child on my own. And so there's this devaluation of black men by black women.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And it's a construct that comes out a lot. Um, I know, I will say, in debates within the black community, saying this as a peripheral member of it, because I do live in a majority white state, in a relationship with a white partner, and having a white parent. So I don't want to say that I speak for a larger segment of people. A big part of that is the feeling that black men, in their discussions around black women, they there's a lot of colorism. There is a lot of degradation in the way that they speak to them, looking at musical trends, and the way that women are referred to, the way women are treated within the community in many cases as well. There's a
All right.
lack
So
of.
here's the thing, right? I hate to say this,
Mhm.
but women control reproduction.
Yeah.
If that behavior is not desired, the culture can change that behavior. Instead, it rewards it because they pursue wealth and people who are assholes because they have wealth or power. It's not because of character, it's because of who's going to give them the best possible life for whatever kids they might have. From a money perspective, not from an actual being there perspective.
Right. Yeah. It's a fiscal decision. Yeah.
And that's not unique to just the current black culture. It's in general, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Where men are reduced to dollar figures. What can you provide? So I don't know. I don't see a way out of it without somehow getting young black men to feel like they're important enough to live.
Yeah. I think it's also, one of the issues facing a lot of these, black women tend to be one of the most educated groups out there today in the business world, and are also some of the most underpaid. And not only are they,
Is that true? That they're the most educated?
it's statistically, Stu, that it's like they're like 86%. pay versus, you know how like there's like the tiering for, they've got it set up now where if you are a white male with X level of education, this would be your base pay,
No,
and then they break it down demographically.
absolutely not.
Um,
You,
yeah, they
you're
break
saying
it
what
down.
you're describing is systemic racism. I do not believe that systemic racism exists. I do not. In fact, I'm going to go the opposite direction and say, at this point in time, to be a minority is to have advantages that you do not have if you're not in the minority. There are jobs that you cannot get into any sort of management position unless you're a minority or a woman. And they rank the minorities regarding who's more important. Starting with the vice president. I think I lost you. Well, that's okay. We got a little too serious on this anyhow. This is about sucking at gaming. But I just feel like we're not that far from Chicago here. And Chicago is just... It was a beautiful city. And now I would never want to go there. And it's a shame. It's just a shame. And these young black men are killing young black men. Because they don't feel like they're worth anything. Or the other person that they're shooting is not worth anything. I don't know what the solution to that is.
Totally trapped my Discord attack right in the very beginning of your point.
No, my point is that the wage gap, if you actually look at the numbers, the wage gap doesn't exist. If the wage gap existed, there would be no reason to ever hire men. Because businesses are looking for a way to cut costs. So if you were earning 86 cents for every dollar that I was making, there's no way that I ever work again. If you're doing the same exact work, absolutely not. You know IDEX. I'm sorry, you know that company of unknown origin. There's no way if that company can get away with paying 85% for all of its payroll, they would never hire another man again. Because there's no legal ramification if they don't. This numbers game that they're propagating regarding this pay gap doesn't actually exist. When you break it down and look at the numbers and look how many hours you're working versus how many hours you're not working versus the vacations you're taking off versus the levels of education, it doesn't exist. So they're comparing different professions to different professions.
So it's apples to oranges.
A lot of the high-risk jobs out there that are blue-collar pay reasonably well. You can, if you're working a risky job, you're probably upper middle class from a dollar's perspective. Mm-hmm. You're also probably going to die. Yeah, Tech is exactly right. Comparing hairdressers to lawyers. Well, not even lawyers so much as it is like people who are working on high rises. You know, they're 100 stories up. They do safety work, but it's just not the same. So when you look within a profession for the same amount of experience, same level of education, you're going to find that the pay gap not only does not exist, but men get paid slightly less. About 5% less, on an example. it's an easy number to repeat, but it doesn't actually exist in reality. Now you can say, well, there are exactly right. You can say that women tend to have more responsibilities away from work, and that is absolutely true. Oh, I just got pinged. Hey, thank you for following. Are we done? Oh, we're done. I was just blowing stuff up and ranting. Uh, so so no, what you're going to find is that and I, I'm not a huge fan of anything that's unfair. I have this overwired thing, but I've been reading this, I've been looking at it, and I think you said you watched The Red Pill as a documentary.
Hmm.
What you're not seeing is the difference that it's having regarding equity versus equality again.
And I understand that. I think when I look, and I think that one of the things we see with data as well is that there's multiple ways to interpret the same information, right? And it's all the way you're trying to get that story. It's all what you're trying to get that story to tell. To your point about time and trying to compare things profession to profession, I think especially within the Black community, when we look at why are they having greater struggles financially, and why are we seeing less involvement of male figures within that. I know in the work that I've helped Lawrence with, one of the big things he says is that there's a lack of capital that gets passed generationally, and that's
But
there's
aren't
the there
but there are social programs out there that only loan to low interest loans, loan to minorities. In fact,
yeah.
when Seattle burned, they're burning businesses. If you were if you were Hispanic or black, you can get a loan to rebuild your business. If you're white or Asian, you cannot get a loan at these
Yes.
rates to
Yes.
do your businesses. So there
And
are a bunch of different things out there that don't exist for other groups.
right, but these are current corrections and not necessarily previous historical precedents. And that's the thing I think to remember, is that these things have all ebbed and flowed over time, with different groups having different levels of preference.
So let me ask you this:
And that's,
isn't reverse
yeah.
racism racism? Isn't
Yes.
isn't isn't qualifying somebody for who gets a loan, who doesn't get a loan based on the color of their skin actually racism?
It is preferential, and it also
No,
causes a
I'm
lowering
saying
of
racism
standards. Yeah. Yes.
because it's
And
technically exactly that. You're basing something based on somebody's color of their skin, what their preferred race is,
yes.
what their stated
And
race is.
and it can also cause a lowering of standards, where instead of holding people accountable to the same criteria, you're interjecting a non quantifiable or qualifiable factor, which could have a positive or negative impact, but actually doesn't indicate performance or viability.
I don't know what to put into this.
It's similar to the whole.
There we go.
It's like the quota system for admissions and things like that.
Yeah,
And they're all valid attempts at correction, but they do have other impacts further along the way. Where I was going previously with the generational thing is, it's not necessarily, there may be that access to loans now, to be sure, for people to be able to get homes and things that they couldn't previously. They've lost that ability to accrue wealth over time that was from previous periods. But there's also a lack generationally of retirement planning within the Black community, and that's something they struggle with significantly. This idea that straight savings isn't enough, or that that someone's not going to take care of them. And one of the issues that and I know I have a lot of friends that are dealing with this currently, is coming out of school as coming out with a bachelor's or a master's, being a first generation degree holder. You get into a profession where you're actually making money, and you're both paying for your family and student loans, And once you get out of that window, or sometimes in the middle of that window, you start paying to take care of your parents or your parent because they haven't planned for retirement. And so then, as a matter of paying off loans, that you had easier access to, and facilitating taking care of your own family and taking care of your parent, where are you saving for your own retirement? And then you perpetuate the same cycle
So
with
my question to you then is, have not the Hispanic population been in the same exact boat, and how come they're not in it any longer?
so I won't say that they're not, that they don't have similar issues. I think for them intergenerational living is more common,
So what
and
you're
that's a
saying is they
cultural
tend to
thing.
have close knit families with multiple parents and multiple generations.
Correct.
So again, we're not dealing necessarily with a color issue. We're dealing with a culture
It's a
issue.
It's a culture issue. Exactly. And this is why I was saying before that you really have to look at whether these things are cultural constructs. Because in a Latin American home, and I know like this was a big thing back in Miami when I was growing up. You have somebody's tia and their abuela and their abuelo, and everybody's in one big household. Or sometimes it's like them and like the house next door, right? And everybody's all grown up together. Your abuelitos watching, the grandkids, so that you're not paying additionally for childcare. And it's like, and everybody takes care of each other, and everybody picks up tasks and roles and responsibilities, and everything gets distributed, and it's a very interrelated family structure.
Ortec, you're in
And
Canada.
then
We have Ortec listening in. Ortec, you're in Canada
uh,
right now. Nah, it's okay. I'm actually doing well for goods. Where are you? What's going on? We're getting filtered results here in south of the border regarding what's happening. But there's a lot of rage going on about the new kind of crackdown,
uh,
and basically
the
the
Muslim
federal
culture.
government taking over decisions for provinces, the Emergency
Mhm.
Powers Act or whatever it is. We're not seeing much about that or what the attitude is. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. British Columbia. We've been watching with some fascination because our own politics here are not enough of a train wreck. Uh, so suddenly seeing Canada get to this point is, I'm sad to say, a little refreshing. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry, Christina, you were saying?
No, 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 you're good. It's a more interesting topics than the one we're discussing in some ways because it's more present,
Yeah. So
present moment.
my main issue was the devaluation of the family and why it seems like
Hmm.
it's strictly a black thing.
Hmm.
Why we've had other disadvantaged groups come through, um, who the Asians back in the 1800s were effectively slaves as well, um, and they were not allowed to own businesses or properties or things like that.
Hmm.
Um, and then obviously Hispanics have had challenges from day one, even just getting into the country legally for it. Um,
And still face a lot of challenges today as well, discriminatory challenges based on language and and other issues as well, language, immigration preferences.
oh wow, so they've stopped the Emergency Act now. I guess I must have missed it with all the stuff happening in Russia today. Oh God, yeah. Not only after World War II or during World War II, where they were, and it was actually strange enough Japanese. They were specific about Japanese people. They were fine with Chinese, despite the fact that visually you probably couldn't tell the difference from one from another.
Hmm.
Um, and in some cases, the Philippines and Polynesia were all considered fine as well. So basically, they were checking papers to see what your name was and where your origin came from. Made a speech and they stopped the act. He was getting a lot of pushback on that. I'm gonna have to see if I can catch that speech. I think that from what I was watching about, is it called Parliament there? They were talking about voting it down anyhow. Um, so they would have been kind of a major defeat. Oh yeah, he's getting sued. I also saw that they did change the laws so that the truckers basically could not get donations from anywhere without it being illegal and being prosecuted,
Mm.
which is very strange because of all the protests that have happened in Canada um, in the last couple of years, and the destruction that has happened in the various different cities, and those were allowed to get funding. Very very strange about Pixie Choosy, and the truckers were the heroes for 2020 and 2021. These are the people who pulled through and got us our goods and made sure we got our toilet paper and all that fun stuff. And now they're Nazis, I guess, because if they don't agree with your
Terrorist
politics, you're a Nazi.
organizations. Terrorist organizations, I believe, is the designation.
Actually, the phrasing was wrong thinking. If that is in
Wrong.
1984,
Oof.
I don't know what is. Wrong thinking. Wow. Well, hopefully it'll work out for you guys. I mean, we're going to be on fire here down here for a while,
Yeah.
so we need to have a place to go when it all goes tits up, so to speak. And you guys are closest to both of us, so um, who knows? Who knows where it's going? I do know that once this turns from a pandemic, when they can no longer deny that it is not a pandemic, it's an endemic situation, and then research goes on that comes back and looks back at this time, it will be it'll be problematic.
Yeah. Although I will say, even having been, in New York City, which had some of the strictest regulations, and they've got whole billboards out there about how you have to show your vaccination card everywhere. And they actually have a whole service they're advertising now where, they have an app that you can get that links all your health information for the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I got a message on my phone which says, "Do you want to opt into exposure tracking?" And I was like, "No, no, I don't want to opt into any tracking services." And like, it's as you hit city Wi-Fi, and when you hit like government Wi-Fi, it asks, "Do you want to join tracking?" And they're like, "Do you get a hard copy of your vaccine card?" And for what it's worth, 2 days there, not a single person asked. And anytime it was an outdoor environment, masks went down to maybe 20-25%.
I was gonna say the video I
And
saw was even less than that.
yep, and yeah, the later it gets, the more they come off. And then even like today on the train, everyone masked on the train like they were supposed to, but I'd say probably 30% of people weren't wearing them right. They'd have them around their chin, they had them under their nose. There's no enforcement anywhere, and there's general apathy about it. There's no person like shouting out at somebody else or acting fearful or um everyone was pretty generally just accepting. So I was appreciative of it because, my mom had a fit that the kids were unvaccinated and I brought them anywhere.
Well,
Um
Olivia's there's such a risk.
yeah.
Even if it's a non-zero risk, and her chance of actually having something serious
Yeah.
happen is what at her age 99.994 I believe percent chance of
Yeah.
it being serious. Um, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ortec, is that province by province or is that federal? I'm very curious. I really, for you guys being so close, I have such little knowledge about how the provinces work with the federal government and where the line is.
Hey, now I'm sad I'm not streaming you today. I should go get you.
You can definitely do it. All right. I need to get a masterwork weapon. Actually, I need 10 of them. Auction house. Masterwork weapon.
I'm still trying to get all my reading in, you know.
I'm sorry. You can go about doing your thing.
That's fine.
300. Province is semi-different in how they dealt with everything, same as the U.S. In the U.S., there's actually been no federal mandate that they could actually enforce. So the states actually had individual rights regarding things, and when the federal government tried to come up with consequences regarding what you could and couldn't do regarding vaccinations and work, each state had the opportunity to make those mandates illegal in the state and make enforcing them illegal.
Yeah.
So it's been a real power struggle between the states and the federal government regarding who can do what.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very true.
It's also been a significant political divide by state between red and blue in the way that they want to enact the laws as well.
1, 2,
It's
3, 4,
become
5,
more of a
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need 11 of them. 2 more.
Ow! Ow!
Yeah, I've been actually, strange enough, I've been watching a lot of the Parliament stuff and the debates going between. I also don't understand necessarily Quebec. I mean, not just the language, but is Quebec a voting bloc in itself? Are they a party? Because I know that there's I know that there's the conservatives and liberals, but I keep on seeing like Quebec as almost like a party. And Fire, the reason I chose it is because when this first came out in live, like 85 years ago, my first level 50 was a Fire, and I teamed up with a friend of mine who was running a stone tanker with super strength. Good times. So there's no reason I'm doing it right now other than just member berries. I remember back when this used to be live. Christine, how far are you guys from Quebec there?
How far?
Yeah. You're relatively close, aren't you?
No, I mean we're closer. Well, the last trip I took, I went to Montreal. The last time I went up to Canada, Montreal, I think is closer than Quebec is.
Well, I mean Montreal.
We're
Quebec is in
closer to like
Montreal.
Nova Scotia. Maine is closer to Nova Scotia.
Right. Right. No, I guess not. Quebec is Quebec. Yeah. Montreal would be. Is Montreal. Wait. Is Toronto Montreal?
No. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what province it's
Oh
in.
my God. What we're hopeless.
Okay, this does not. But you see, this for me is not Canada specific. So don't hold me like. It's not just that I don't know Canada. It's that I don't know geography generally. Um,
Yeah. Hold on.
Because it took us, we drove up, it took 8 hours for us to get to Montreal.
What did we do before Google? We had to know things. Remember encyclopedias?
Yeah, but I know Toronto is more west because it was in between you and I when we looked on the map. Because we talked about flying there to meet each other.
Montreal is in the southwest province of Quebec.
There you go.
So when I say
Toronto's in Ontario.
Right. So when I said about
Quebec.
right, I said how far are you from Quebec, and he said, well, a long ways, but when we drove to Montreal, it didn't take very long.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, Toronto, Ontario. Yes. All right. Quebec. Yeah. Montreal in Quebec. Gotcha.
Thank you for your assistance. I am geographically challenged, so I apologize if any of it sounds insulting.
We are relatively clueless about. The problem with being from the United States is you just forget about the fact that there's the rest of the world, and it's a curse.
It's very Americentric. This is
It,
true.
it really is. We get so wrapped up on our own problems and how we hate each other here,
Oh, look at all the bots.
and football.
But football that you play with your hands, not football that you play with your feet. Hmm.
I mean, you use feet to run around. All
But
right.
you don't play. It's not the same. I mean, to me, I think football being soccer makes more sense.
Well, yeah, it does.
Where did we come out with the word soccer instead?
Um, you know, if I had an encyclopedia, I could tell you that. But I do not have an encyclopedia.
Oh my god, Olivia asked me for a guinea pig today, and I said you need to do a report on what guinea pigs need before I get you a guinea pig. That's I need to know that you understand in detail what you're getting into before I buy you any pet. And she says, "Well, I can't because Daddy
3.
put a tracking option on my phone, and so now I can't search guinea pigs on it." And I said, "Then go to the library." And she said, "I can't download that app on my phone." Literally, I can't download that app on my phone. Library. She didn't understand I meant to like the library.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, aren't libraries kind of now where homeless people go to shower or use the bathroom? They really
You
aren't.
know,
They're not really used anymore.
you know what? Today when we went by the New York City, we drove by the
2.
New York Library today in New York City, which is like one of the oldest in America. It has a copy of the Declaration of Independence inside, one of
Like
the
a
signed copies.
photocopy.
No, it's a signed copy.
I see. By
It's one
John
of the
Hancock.
original. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then the highlight of it was like the kids were like, "Why do we care about this library?" And they're like, "It was the library in Ghostbusters." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we remember." That was their point of reference. It wasn't that the
Oh,
library had over 12,000 books and numerous stories and like all of this information and all these historical things. Like the children's section has the original stuffed animals that A. A. Milne named.
hold on.
What foul language?
There was no foul
What is your
language. No, no.
Streamlabs
And here's
chat
the thing:
talking
is
people?
so the chatbot said, "Do you want to allow these or deny them?" I'm like, "Allow," and it goes, "Bonk." Deleted 32 lines. I'm like, what? I said allow, allow. I'm sorry about that. I have not
Oh,
mastered the
he
the.
didn't say a bad
No,
word. There
he
was never
he,
a foul word
he
in
did
there.
not say a bad word, or she. I don't know who Ortek is.
They did not say a bad word.
I
I don't
agree.
know.
I agree.
Um,
No idea what just
no.
happened.
Ah, um,
And even then, I said allow it, and then it bonked it. So
maybe you just ignore when Streamlabs pops up like that.
I don't know. I mean, it was saying something was flagged. Do you want to allow or deny? I'm like, yeah, I'll allow it. It was not even foul language, so I'll
Right.
master this whole robo chat thing at some point. I'm sure, or not.
I mean, we use so much foul language. It seems like
Fuck yeah.
what's the word? Hypocritical for us to edit people out of the chat with it.
Gotcha.
We're either foul or inappropriate or political. I mean, the spectrum of things we shouldn't be talking about is pretty high.
So here it is. Held a message for reason sex-based terms.
Sex-based
Allow
term.
will post it to chat, and it has allow or deny.
Mm-hmm.
Here, hold on. I'm going to say allow again. Oh,
CUNM. Oh. Oh. Oh, gotcha.
okay.
That took me so long that took me as long to figure out as it does when you make jokes for me in person.
Yeah, yeah. But you did that little mouth open thing, like, oh, I'm thinking about this.
Gosh.
I know it should be funny, but I'm not quite getting it. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I get them eventually. It's just not an instantaneous
I
thing.
know that's part of the joke for me actually. All right, 40.
Canada, America, and Mexico. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we say the same thing when we were discussing geopolitical economics, and we were talking about the pigs countries, which is Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain, because they're all the ones that the European Union enacted economic sanctions as part of their economic restructuring. Oh my God, that was an incredibly smart thing I just said. Did you hear that? Remember
Uh,
that.
Now could you repeat it?
No. I actually am
I'm
fascinated
kind
by
of glad.
economics. Fascinated by economics despite being so terrible at so many things.
All right, scientific theory. Oops, sorry about that. Sure, we'll do 3 more of those too. I'm hoping eventually to get to the point in time where I can actually add to groups rather than simply milk experience off of them. Although I am fairly. Why did I build those? Oh my god! All right, you know what? We're not gonna think about it. Just gonna do it. Just gonna add these in.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even mean to do accuracies. It just kind of worked out that way. I meant to do recharge reductions. Holy crap! All right, we're okay. We're okay. We're fine. At least it
You're
wasn't
almost
the
all,
wrong origin, right?
this is true, and you're almost all specced out.
I
You've
know.
only got a couple of empty slots now. Good for you.
I
Look at that progress.
know. Look at me. Yeah. Recharge reduction. We need 3 of these. Wow, I can't believe I got that wrong. 2, 3, and we need spell inks. Only ink. Search. Wow, 17. You know, I'm willing to pay. You know, I got money. I got money. I'm just gonna
Do I have
do
end
one of those.
issues? Do you have end issues, Polly? Because it can't be me because he's
I,
having them.
you know, I really don't at this point. I've discovered one of the things that didn't exist back in the live days was um, the cauterization aura. That did not exist. So the only way you could get endurance back would have been through stamina.
Mm-hmm.
But now cauterization aura actually adds just a ton. So I'm not spec'd out to actually have this go for any of the real length of time. Um, Here we go. So my regeneration rate is here, and that's part of cauterization aura as well. The recovery rate is here as well. So stamina fully socketed is that, and then the cauterization aura is that. So it's significant. I don't have a ton of problems with it. I've also noticed that something else has changed. In the oldie days, the Alpha Inferno would drain all of your endurance and keep you from getting endurance back for a while. Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah. Yep, yep. All right, circuit board. Need 3 of those. I'm probably going to end up doing it with, you know what? Probably end up doing that with money just because I'm a money ho. All right, so get. Did I buy circuit boards twice? I bought circuit boards. You know what? I could use circuit boards. I should say I didn't actually search on circuit boards. There we go. 500. It's been a long day. All right, get. Great. 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 There, one there, one there. What is left? I need to do 1 for defense. And I'm going to leave that Swift red up there just because, and that Sprint as well. It's imperfection. That's what I'm looking for. I got plenty of it. All right, so resist damage. We need one of those. Bye.
I think Paul tends to enjoy the struggle, and you know, I think I myself have learned over time. I would have been previously. I would have been the person who would say yes. Oh my God, yes, I'll take your money.
Oh no, I'm
And
fine.
now, yeah, I was gonna say now it's more like this is a constraint that forces me to think differently, and I enjoy the challenge of it.
Yeah, no. In fact, I've got other characters. I've got I don't know, 30, 40 million on them. I could just mail it to myself. So to me, it's kind of one of those things where I try to figure out how to balance leveling with like the experience point bonus with actually having money. Oh, I'm broke. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's partially because I keep on overbidding on all of my stuff. Like, you posted that. That takes courage. Oh, and now I'm really broke. All right. We'll make that later.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down to 7,000. Woo, woo! I wasted it all. All of it's gone. I can't even afford to post anything now. I'm okay with that.
Remember when I
Alright.
got myself in that boat accidentally because I ran like XP boosters, like the double boosters? I don't know. I maxed it out like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like leveled up and had absolutely no influence to socket anything at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
No, actually, I'm having a decent time. I'm running. There's a bunch of missions that and little task force and things that I do not remember running live, ever. Um, and it's actually kind of enjoyable. I know that there are farming missions and things like that. In fact, I even made I have a Spine's Fire Brute who exists simply to actually power level and make money. And it's running the whatever that dog mission is, where you take on all the superheroes over and over and over again. Oh, look at that! I could just sell those because I'm not going to use those at 50 or those at 50. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. And look at that! I'm huge again. Huge.
Hilarious.
Huge.
Yeah, we started playing this the Excelsior server is super active.
Yeah, it is.
We've been playing on what, the French server?
I think it's in France. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been playing on the French server most of the time. And so when we log in, it's always low volume, and we were like, "Oh, this is like great. It's like never crashes. It's always pretty even keel."
It
And we
runs
weren't
pretty
playing.
fast because there's no, despite the bandwidth being overseas, it
Yeah,
has no people on it.
yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'm going to go and do this.
But yeah. But now Paul has decided to make new friends, so I'm still on Reunion, and he's out on Excelsior
I still
playing.
have, actually, I still have like 40 alts on
It's fine.
on Reunion. And
I'm not jealous.
the only reason I'm doing this is because nobody plays with my blaster. Nobody. And none of your characters can tank or hold aggro
No.
in any way. Zach's been kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
So I've decided I'm just going to take a blaster somewhere and get him leveled up, make him cool. Than he is. Or what am I doing again? Don't let me forget here. I was doing
IO.
Resist damage. That was it. All right, I'm done. Done. For now. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I want to be unkillable. Wait. No. I'm not unkillable yet, but I will be. 1 second. Just a minute here. Take a second. Pull this over here. Go up to powers. Come down over to here.
You could change your mastermind minions when we were on Reunion, though.
What?
I mean, not like a ton of change, but you could still change them to a certain degree, couldn't you?
Oh, no, you really couldn't. Now, Thunder Spy is totally unique regarding what you can do for not only minions, but also for costumes. I've seen some of the costumes that have come out of Thunder Spy. They're amazing. Just amazing. Yeah, this is more... I think that they've kind of stayed truer to the original game in Homecoming, but Thunder Spy is gone really artistic. Yeah, I've seen some amazing robots for robotics, but otherwise, no, you can't really change them here at all. Hold on, here. This is gonna make me unbeatable. Right there. There it is. I cannot be hit now. And not only that, but it cannot be blown up because it is invincible. See? It says it right there. Alright. I'm going to try one more mission, I think.
It looks like a floating Roomba.
It's a shield drone. It makes me invulnerable. I cannot be hit when that's out.
I'm just telling you what it looks like.
People are running that DFB thing over and over again, that arc. Which is like, I think, levels 2 to 12. I've done it several times. Look at that. Look at that shield run. My god. The mobs are just going to fear me now. Fear me. Alright, did it come with me? Oh my god, my shield did not survive. How did it break? It was invincible. Alright, hold on. I'm going to see how much it adds. First I'm going to stand here and look cool. Hold on, looking cool. Gonna pose here. Check out my powers. My combat attributes. Let's go to defense. Look at that defense. Oh my god. Oh, hold on. Look at that defense. Oh my god. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I can't do it while I'm flying. Huh? Yeah? Look at that. Look at that. Alright, I'm gonna do this. 8.2%. Only 92% of the things that are thrown at me, I get hit by. 92%. Isn't that amazing? It's astonishing I ever actually dirt nap at all. Given those stats. And of course, the mobs do not automatically target this and kill it. In fact, let me go over. Let me see if one of these... Am I actually looking for a group? I am. All right.
Those are my... I echo the sentiments of our viewer.
That you miss the sewer runs?
No, know. He said, "Wow, so amazing."
Isn't it? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get my shield drone to take this guy out. Come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, no, no. Don't take out my shield drone. Oh, he's just running away. Coward. Coward. Alright, fine. I saw a human form Peacebringer in a group today, a part of our group. Looked pretty awesome. And I'm still so entirely overwhelmed with the fact that somebody got an ice tanker not only to 50, but to veteran level 112. My gosh. Astonishing. 15 plus badge run. I could just run my own mission, I guess. But that would require that I have my own thinking. With my own brain. Let me just... Oh, what is that? What? Who are you? Should I do positron? Hold on. So we'll just put this out.
I love watching the chat. It makes me laugh.
You know, if I could somehow figure out a way to just radiate out damage and put myself in follow mode, I would be okay with that too sometimes. Which is, you know, how I play most of my masterminds. Just follow Christina around, res her whenever I can, and
I die a lot.
let my pets do all the killing. All right. What level am I? 37. 37. Fire, fire. Blaster. Looking for
Yeah,
love.
I feel very confident that despite my rate of death, that I'm cute enough that you bring me back every time.
Well, you let me do things to you, so yeah. There are side benefits that are not game related. Come on. Oh. Hey, some cool guy named Captain Sunder just said he's a 37 firefighter blaster looking for love. Nobody's loving him now. What?
Looking for love?
In all the wrong places, yeah. I'm going to drop a nuke on these people. I'm doing it. Hold on. I'm going to hover over their head a little bit. They'll never even see it coming. Just going to put right about here. Put my face over that and just going to... Nobody died. Alright. 15 plus. Do I want to do 15 plus? Oh, I don't want to do 15 plus. Badge run. Let's do a badge run. I don't want to do badge run. Oh, wait. Positron 2, that's a Lobby one, isn't it? Artech, do you remember Positron 2? Is that a Lobby run? Yeah. It's not true. I was not forced to eat it. I loved it. In fact, Christina comes from Miami, and the fact that when she says, "Do you want burritos or tacos?" and I say tacos, and she says hard shell or soft shell, and I say hard shell, but I want crappy tacos like from Taco Bell. I don't want any of the good crappy tacos that are out there. No. I want crappy Taco Bell tacos. And she looks at me like I got an arm growing out of my forehead. Oh, wait. Master. Well, let me check with the Ultimate Kid. Yeah. I'm very particular in that I'll take anybody. What if I would want to do... What if I want to do that? Nobody wants to do task forces? How about missions? Now they're all just looking for any. Oh god, yeah. Isn't it amazing? It is amazing. Level 26 mission team looking for members. Let's check out Fox Star. It's about your bedtime, isn't it, woman?
Are you being bossy?
No, I'm asking a question.
My bedtime is when I say it is, because I'm a grown-ass woman.
She's not actually making that voice on purpose, by the way.
No, it's because my mouth is guarded in at night. Tonight.
So, she did not to say anything about shaving her butt. She said it's because her mouthpiece is in. I made the same mistake last time, and she really got angry about it.
You know.
You know? Listen, listen. You have to start out that way. Listen.
I love you.
Yeah?
I love you very much.
Uh-huh.
I want to remind you, you're going to spend the rest of your life with me.
If only if we finish that book.
That's true. I have to sort that out. I have to sort all of that out.
Not only do you have to finish reading it, you have to apply it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This is one of those really weird builds I'm running that has no teleportation or no stealth. Which means I'm effectively just a target. I'm alright with that. That's right, I'm... Ooh! Oh! Check out the panda! Nice.
Oh, that Kung Fu Panda from the movie. That's cool.
He's Pandemonium.
Is that his name?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
We have 4 blasters. Oh god. We're all gonna die.
4 blasters out of a group of 6? What
8.
are the other 2?
We got 8.
So there's 8 of you and 4 of you?
Four of us are blasters, yeah. We got what do we got here? We got a corruptor. Oh, we got 1 tanker, controller, and a defender. Ah, we're fine. It'll be fine. Oh, plus these guys are not cranked up in levels.
Need more blasters.
I tried an all blaster group once. It did not go well. All mastermind group was amazing, but mostly because it was just so impossible to move around during it. Okay, move out of the way so I can blast. Blasting. No, don't do it. Am I stunned or what? Oh, I don't have that power. Oh my god. I don't have an alpha. I'm too low level. My entire repertoire is my alpha. That was embarrassing. Just hovered over the top of them and...
I did kind of feel bad for you just now. That was...
I was so ready to just show off. Oh my god. I was gonna partially damage most of them, and then nothing happened.
Oh, does that make you a beta? Oh, oh.
I think no. I think not. Are you my tanker? Wait, all right, who are you? What is Pandemonium? Oh, he's a... Oh, gotta give it to him, man. He's a blaster. Wait a minute.
Flamethrower.
What kind of blaster is he? I gotta check out his build. Check out his form, so to speak. Uh-oh, I'm confused. Not gonna attack. Not attacking. There we go. Going left. Going further left. I am definitely not the alpha. You know, the funny thing coming back is we always referred to alphas back in live as being your final level 32 attack. And here, you know, with incarnates, alpha means an entirely different thing. So when somebody said, oh, we want you to have your alpha fully slotted, like, oh, I got that, no problem. Except they didn't mean my alpha, they meant my alpha, which I didn't have. Wait, I have rain though. You just... There we go. I'll just do that. I'm really tempted to just kind of snick this guy through the window. Gonna do it. Doing it. Gonna snick. Boom. Oh, he got through there. How did he get through there? I can't get through there. Dang it. People using the game mechanics to their own advantage. Right. Alright. I do like when the map makes itself impossible to use. There we go. Wait, is this... What? Is there somebody up here? Oh, here we go. Normally I'm a corpse smasher. With Christina. The big wind up. I take a big swing at things. Right.
I'm not even playing tonight, but there's been so much description of my play style.
That's not that's not actually
it's like I'm there in spirit.
That's actually not a bad thing. It's like my attacks are so slow and you do so much more damage.
Yeah.
That by the time I get a swing in, the thing is dead. Mm. So that is not a negative. Oh, why'd I do that? I had a perfect snipe opportunity. Did not use it.
What does he play or what do I play? Because I mean, I usually I'm online playing with him, but I just drove 14 hours and 40 in 2 days. Yeah, it was like 14 hours of the driving. So I took the night off. Just because sitting at the desk would not be pleasant right now.
Just gonna do this. Hey, comfortable.
I got a variety of
mostly things that can do damage and don't take damage.
Yes, because I die so easily that if I had things that took damage. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, the disembodied female voice. Normally when I have more clothing on and look presentable, we are usually both on screen. I have a scrapper. Is he a scrapper?
Stalker.
No, he's a stalker. That's the word. I have a stalker ninja mix, and I have...
It's radiation and ninjutsu for the stalker.
Yes, thank you for the clarification. And then I have my ice corruptor.
two of
My
the
ice was
same.
considered
She's got
corruptor.
two of the same, one red side and one blue side,
One
because
blue
when she
side.
when she created that, she didn't realize, and I don't think we either did, that we could just go change
Yeah, you could just
our
flip your animation.
so she made two.
Yeah, I've got one on each.
Spelled slightly differently.
Same, exact same skill, but one is estilo perra and one is estilo perro. So, you know. Um, and then I have one that's gravity. Dysentery is gravity. Um, dysentery? Dysentery. I've never really figured out the pronunciation.
Gravity?
Uh, she's a gravity controller.
You don't have any controllers.
She does gravity.
You might be talking Dominator?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know that I don't know all the details on these things. I just say, what does this look like? This looks like fun, and I throw a bunch of skills together and a cute outfit, and I start to play.
Yeah.
And it's either really, really hard as you carry me until it gets to the point that I'm a little bit better, or I have a decent character to run with. I would say that Lefty, as my stalker, has probably been the easiest one to play. Other than that one, remember the one I got stuck in Pretoria and I like lost it on the map and I couldn't figure out how to find my way home,
Yeah.
and we had to send a little rescue crew in to log in and get me back.
Well, that rescue queue is just me, by the way.
It was, but like you were basically like my whole little team. You helped me out
Yeah, it's true.
because I didn't know where I was and I didn't know how to get out of Pretoria in general.
Christina's got many, many skills and is super intelligent and bright and funny, but she sucks at navigation. Absolutely sucks at navigation. It's astonishing,
Uh,
really.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Sometimes
it's
it's
not
nerve,
even humorous. It's just really just bad.
but sometimes it's nerves and not just like terribleness.
Okay.
I'm
Are,
okay.
are you always nervous or?
No, I'm not always nervous, but sometimes it's nerves. Like that time when I got you lost on the way to my house. That was nerves. Because it was my own house. I knew how to get home from work. I just, in that moment, couldn't figure it out.
I'm just gonna find some
Uh,
dust members.
oh, that reminds me. Do you want to be on the car rental? Because otherwise, I'm driving our whole vacation.
It's fine. Do you want to drive the entire vacation?
Well, as long as. Will you confirm to be navigator?
Why?
Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere.
Okay. So the other option would be that I would drive and be navigator.
Yes.
I can just navigate.
Okay. That works for me. But yeah, so I have a variety of alts. I think I have but I only have like a total of 8 that I play at any given time, and I think the highest value one I have, mine range between 12 and 36 right now for all my alts. That's as high as I've gotten. 12 is my lowest, and 36 is my highest at the moment.
To be fair,
We will be.
Christina had this problem when she first started out where she would play one up to like 18 and say, I'm really tired of this, and then play a different one up to like 16 and say, oh my God, I'm
It's the
so
same
tired
thing.
of playing the same missions over and over again. And I'm like, then why don't you play anything more than 16 levels? Because you're just playing the same missions
The same one over
over
again.
and over again.
But that's how I wound up in Pretoria. I wound up in Pretoria for that exact reason, because I was just like, this will be different. And then I got over there and couldn't figure out how to get back.
Well, I think you were involved with Isabel at the time, right?
It was when I was with Isabel, yep. Yep. But yes, yeah, he is stuck with me. I like to think I'm cute enough that he'll hang around.
And she's talking
Um,
really well.
I did.
Yeah. Nothing says I love you like a really good stalking.
So
So
you've got 3 to 4, each page is 10,
I got like 40.
40 pages
Yeah, 40
of all?
pages. No, 40 alts.
Oh,
40 pages of alts, really?
I don't know what you got going on. You like to You will literally make an entire stream that is just you building a new alt for like 45 minutes to an hour.
What's your point? It's
Just
fascinating.
saying,
It's
you
fascinating
enjoy
stuff. I do it because my people love it.
it.
I just killed myself. Uh,
Oh.
that's so funny. Alright.
See, I get frustrated with it because I start going and like maybe like 6 or 7 minutes in, I'm over it, and I want to be done. I just want to start playing, so I don't invest a ton of time into the whole alt thing. My goal is to just kind of rotate through each of the main groups at some point. I mean, that's my lofty goal.
Other than
One server of three. Holy crap.
tanker, bruter, scrapper.
Yeah. Now, Ortec, do you move your characters around on the servers, or do you just kind of plant them in one place and then, if you want to play somewhere else, build a new one?
Fling.
Mostly remake. Yeah. I feel like when you remake them, you have a little bit of an advantage because when you've played through the first time, you've been able to pick your powers in a specific order and socket them a certain way, and that when you do the remake, you get to reevaluate that and make decisions, a little bit differently, and so it gives you some variation in play, even though you're remaking them. You get the infamy. Or the infamy if you're on the dark side.
Oh, I want my alpha. Dang it.
I just want to let you know, darling, the fact that you haven't died is so hot.
I appreciate you keep on setting a low bar for me. Although it is a group with a whole bunch of blasters, so what that probably means is I'm not doing enough damage. Although I did actually try to make this character slightly more tanky.
I don't know. I really like the panda with the hot pink flamethrower.
Hey, hey.
Knock on.
Eyes here. Eyes up here.
That's right, Artek. That fire. He's got to be the hottest one out there right now.
I put so much time into this character design. I mean, I did back when this game was live. I spent I would bet the better part of an hour the first day. I'm like, oh, I need to build this. It's gonna be like a old school. What's the word? Steampunk version of Iron Man before the Iron Man movies even came out. Yeah. Oh, wait, what's going on? Oh. Let's get out of here. All right. What are you using for your farmer?
They do have a steampunk backpack, but he didn't put it on this character.
Actually, it is. I have at least one of those. I'm going with my streamlined version currently. I have several. See, this is the one with one of the steampunk backpack here. I don't know why I'm hovering there. You know, I've started the hover. I'm just going to continue the hover all the way there. There we go.
Spine Fire what you have for your farmer guy?
Spinefire Brute, yeah. Yep,
Mhm.
that's my farmer too. It's uh, it's effective. It's very, very nice. Do I even need to go up here? I don't need to go up there. I'm not gonna go up there. It doesn't come back down anyhow. This is why people tune in. They want to see the high action of me staring at a door. This is right. Not every place that you can come and see just a person staring at a door for a length of time on
Yeah, I
Twitch.
will take.
So I
I will
appreciate you
take
guys
this.
spending your time tuning in. Yeah,
I will take this any day over the time when you just put my face up as I got attacked by a troll in Valheim
that was amazing. That
and
was
just like
absolutely
let
amazing.
that run solo. That was horrible.
That was that was the best content I've ever made.
I was terrified.
Best content ever. And the look on your face is, you're going to be okay, and the shaking your head, couldn't even answer. That was
I
awesome.
was trying to figure out what I was doing. This trolls are very scary.
Yeah, you can't just take those out at like the first day
You can't, all right? Not for
with,
me.
with end game content or end game gear. Not everybody can do it. You just need to go into Valheim and just go hunt trolls. Get
That
used to it.
so the last time when I finally got over it is because Isabel was like she literally loaded me up in the boat and we just went after every single troll we could find for like a solid 2-3 days till I killed I don't know like 6 or 7 of them. But the benefit there too was like she was trying to trade me on like the kiting style like you use that you reminded me about, but
Right,
she's so much
stick and move.
faster.
Yeah, well,
Yep,
it's because
yep.
you're always wearing super heavy armor.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think you can just out survive, getting hit over and over again by a troll, and you really can't.
Uh, what
Wow, I
makes
missed
super
everything there.
Yeah. What makes super strength better than spine fire for farming?
Well, I'm not sure. I've never really played a super strength up to any level. I know Spines is nice just because it has the additional damage aura, which is toxic. I mean, it's... Oh, I hate knockback. Oh my god, I hate knockback. All right. Give me the snipe. Give it. Oh my god. All right. Don't give me the snipe. I find myself playing so that I don't actually attack for a little while, just so I can snipe, which is kind of a cheesy way to play. But I'm good with it. I am what I am. Sometimes I'm cheesy. Oh, thank God I'm with a group that goes right. Holy crap. These freaking Philistines that keep taking left turns all the time. How did I miss that? I missed the turn.
So how does the rage power work? Is that like the brute rage thing?
Yeah, that's rage. The more damage you do, the more damage you take, the more damage you do. So as you get punched, your damage goes up. think they've got one of the highest damage caps in the game.
Super strength does?
Oh, rage power. Yeah. Yeah, what is that? That's like, is that top tier? I can't remember if that's the end. 38 power for them. I'm starting to wonder, is my hasten firing? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's a level 38 power. Oh, I want to snipe, 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 I want to snipe. Let me snipe it. I didn't snipe. Dang it. Okay, now I'm going to snipe this guy. He's going to be dead by the time I snipe. Okay, snipe, nope, snipe that guy. Yay, I sniped. Alright. Dead end. I love getting my head stuck in the ceilings. I don't even have burn patch.
You know, Ortec, I had an issue with my Stalker, where one of the powers essentially is like an alpha attack, but whenever you use it, it wipes out all your endurance, and then your endurance recovery goes down by an additional 50%. So you like it wipes you out, and then you're super slow to recover as well. So would you crash or would you use it?
Which is extra weird because this character, the level 32 power, the one I can't use. Oh, I can use it now. Inferno. Yes, I can use Inferno. Doesn't cause a crash. Here it goes. Pop. And see? No crash. Oh, looks like we lost somebody. Right, isn't this where we came in?
Asking the wrong girl.
It says going down. Okay. Rage, yeah. It's been modified for... Wait. Oh. It's been modified for at least the Fire Blaster, where the Alpha doesn't... It doesn't do that anymore. Guys. Nope. 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 Yay. I can Alpha.
Yeah. Lucky.
I gotta shoot somebody. Who am I gonna shoot? Oh, you. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm probably gonna end this pretty quick. It's late there.
Yeah. There. Oh, I couldn't find the power button on this thing. Tells you how much I use it.
You kill me with that thing.
Hmm?
You kill me with that thing.
With what thing? The iPad? Oh, the mouse guard. You've heard me with it in person.
I know, and it still kills me. I'm
At
saying
least you haven't said something like, "When are you gonna make me a sandwich tonight?" So that's a plus.
I tend
Because
to make you
then
sandwiches.
that word is difficult to say with this in. Sandwiches.
That would be sexist.
To say that I need to make you a sandwich.
Sexist as hell, man. Make my sandwich. That's right. You were
Good for
basically
you.
West Coast.
I did it again. I did it again. Ugh.
What did you do
Yeah.
again?
I tried to put a shirt on because I was cold. And I was punished for it. Not really punished. My phone didn't like it. What happens when I cover them up? They're unhappy.
It's always a sad day for me.
Is it really? I mean, isn't it better when you touch them than when you see them?
Why does it have to be either or?
I guess that's true.
My recharge sucks right now. Yeah, I'm thinking this is the last mission. Not just because I'm about to level, but mostly because I'm about to level. Anybody up there? Nope. Oh, that was pretty effective by the panda.
I like the panda.
I get it. I get it. You like the panda. I leveled them out.
Maybe I'll make a panda.
Yeah, maybe
But
you'll
the
make a panda.
But Pandemonium is already taken. I don't know.
It's taken on this server. It's server by
Oh,
server.
is that on Excelsior?
Yeah. On what?
Ooh. Excelsior.
Who has more fun than people? I really should have saved my alpha.
I bet dolphins have fun because they orgasm with sex. And so do cats. And cats give no fucks about anybody.
Obviously they do.
What do you mean?
And where did that topic come from?
You said nobody has more fun than people.
So what level is Panda? Veteran level 17. Hee hee. I've been doing this for a while. How am I blocked? Well, let's go blow these things up. Oh, we can't blow those guys up. Dang it. I wanted to blow them up. All right. I think that's it for me. Tina's in the process of falling asleep with the lights bright in her face because
I
go
was just waiting for you to say goodnight. That's all.
goldfish. You were already sleeping until I talked.
Oh, I was not.
Oh,
Thanks for everybody for joining us tonight in our wide-ranging set of topics.
thanks for the watch conversation and the follow, Artek. We I will at least be on again tomorrow night at 8 Central and going till 11, so that'll be like 6 to 9 your time. So definitely look for us.
Oh, yes, I'll be on tomorrow, but not Saturday because I'm supposed to be going out with the girls for my birthday.
She's turned 17,
I'm turning 40.
something like that. Anyhow, I rounded down. Have a good night, Ortel.